Hey, what's up, y'all? This right here has been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I am sitting with Ayden Fortson. He is my youngest son. I call him Bud the Stud. He might be the most coachable player that I've ever coached, even though he's my son. He's my guy. He's one of my favorite people, if not my favorite person on the planet. And I'm glad I get to interview him now so we can look back at this 20, 30 years from now so he can see where his head was when he was 13. Ayden, what's up?
What up?
How does it feel to be interviewed by your dad on the 40 Time podcast?
It's crazy feeling knowing that a whole bunch of power athletes like Cade and Dale, a whole bunch of them get to be on here. It's an opportunity for me to be on here too.
Well, I appreciate that, man. So what you trying to say? You trying to say your dad like big time or something, man? I appreciate that, son. All right, so look, we just gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I know a little about you. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get into it. So let's say my first question is starting with your passions. What was your favorite thing about playing football, basketball, or track?
It was really just the competitive asset of it. It was just knowing that like all this work, like if I work, then I could beat somebody. I like the feeling of beating somebody is a different feeling. I like the feeling of beating somebody and being on the top.
Okay, so it feeds your competitive edge is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could pick one game or race that was your most memorable moment, what would it be and why?
I'd probably say. I'll probably say.
It could be anything, any game, any basketball, football, track, whatever. It could be anything.
I'll probably say my first ever football game against Greenville. I came out first play of the game, scored a pitch to the touchdown. And that was really where I found the love of football. And that was just changing.
So basically what you're saying is you caught the bug the moment that I threw you. Because remember we was riding the car, I'm like, Ayden, this is going to be the first play. 29 pitch is going to be the first play. Or was it 28 pitch?
It was 29.
29 pitch. And I said, it's going to be the first play. And I just want people to understand, this is my son. But Ayden has almost scored on every first play of every single game he's ever played in. Like, Ayden, I know you're my son, and I can say it because you are an elite player. Your brother, myself, everybody involved really understand your talent. But the biggest thing that comes with your talent, son, is that you put the work in. You don't take it for granted. You do your prehab, you stretch, you do everything that you're supposed to do. And just from being your father and always telling you this is what you need to do, I say you're the most coachable player that I've ever had because whatever I tell you, that's what you do. So if you don't have success, I take responsibility in that because you only do what I'm telling you to do. And I appreciate that because it's hard when your dad is your coach, your dad is your trainer. And like I said, I grind you down into a smooth surface. And for you to always show up and give me that effort, I appreciate it, dude. All right, so next thing, on your achievements. You scored over 25 touchdowns in every season, which is only like 6-7 games in a season. So that's a lot of touchdowns. What is your secret to staying so consistent?
It's really the off season, knowing what I need to work on, like if it's footwork or speed or strength, just knowing what I need to work on, looking back on my plays and what I did wrong or what I did right or what I need to do the same. And that's what I really do in the off season, just put in more work and just grind. Okay.
When you're on the field or the court, what goes through your mind before the game?
I really just pray to God, and I thank for the opportunity to be out here and play the game when most people don't. It's a privilege to be out there on the court, and I just ask for the strength, the courage to go out there and play my best game.
So it's your faith, your faith in God and your gratitude and being thankful for the opportunity, because like you said, a lot of people want to play, they can't. It's a lot of people that wish they could be able to just be on a team, just to jog. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that do that, and that's a great perspective to have, son, because as long as you keep that, you'll always have love for the game, and the game will always love you back, no matter what the situation is. All right, so look, how do you stay motivated during the tough practices or the games?
I really just tell myself, like, this is a part of being an athlete, and if I can't get through these times, then I'm not a real athlete. Like, a lot of people talk about how being an athlete is about hard work, but they never talk about how it's about your mental and how you prepare and what you think. Because if you at the end of the day, if you're not thinking you're gonna do good, you're not gonna.
Exactly, buddy. Exactly. Okay, so overcoming challenges. I know you had a pretty tough hamstring injury. What did you learn from that experience?
I learned that don't trust a lot of people, because some people, they could seem like they're putting you in the right situation, but they're not. They're just trying to get either money or something else. But I learned that to always trust myself, and if it don't seem right, don't do it.
Okay, so what you mean is, when it came to are you talking about like preparation on how you, like, because I know for a fact every time and I coach and train you every day, you don't start a workout without going through the proper stretching, without going through the proper warm up and prehab. So are you talking about trusting yourself when you know, like, this ain't like I need to take the same time that I need to take?
Yeah, like if I'm being rushed or something, I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna just get out on this, because if I can't prepare myself for this activity in the way I need to, then I'm not gonna do it.
That makes sense. And this hamstring injury was a wake-up call to, are you saying this hamstring injury was a wake-up call to understanding that there's a difference between being productive and then doing activities? Yeah. And when you're a serious athlete, you're always about being productive and not going through activities, because everybody doesn't have as much weight on it as you do. You get what I'm saying? I get that. I like that answer, dude. What is the biggest lesson you've learned from being injured and then coming back stronger?
It's really just trusting God. It's really trusting the process, and like knowing that like everything gonna be okay, because if you don't do the right things in the off season or in the off time that you have with your injury, you're not gonna get better. And if you don't realize that, then you'll stay injured.
No doubt. That's a great answer, dude. Okay, so on your character and teamwork, right? What does being a good teammate mean to you?
A lot of times, some people look at me as higher in like authority than them because I'm this good athlete or I score touchdowns. But a lot of times I tell them, like, the only reason I'm doing this is because I put in all this hard work, and you do the same, you'll be just like me.
So basically what you're saying is, I heard Michael Jordan say this. Michael Jordan said, my role, and I'm paraphrasing this, my role may seem like the superstar because I score the most points. Yeah. But then when you look at the stats, you realize that he scored the most points, but then you look at every other category, and Scottie Pippen led every other category. Scottie Pippen was only second in scoring to Michael Jordan, and then he was first in everything else. So what you're saying is you're doing your job. Yeah. And then when you put the work in doing your job, that's how everybody, and you treat everybody, and that's the thing. And you hear me say all the time, you're a little too nice. You hear me say that you need to step up, but I understand just from your answer right now, I understand that you are being a leader. I don't always have to hear it and understand what you've said to somebody else. All right, so look, who is your biggest inspiration and why?
My biggest inspiration gotta be either you, my brother, my family members, because seeing all the great things that they've achieved throughout their life, it just makes me want to push and go harder.
Yeah, no doubt. And trust me when I tell you, myself and your brother, we are looking at you like, oh yeah, we got us one. We were good, We were good. Don't get me wrong. And some people might even say I was great. I know I was great at a time. But like your brother and myself know, there comes a time where you might get an athlete that once in a lifetime, and you have that ability to become that guy. So we definitely are pulling for you. You are definitely our favorite athlete. How do you support your friends and teammates when they're having a tough day?
I just tell them, like, you're not the only one. Like, don't put it all on yourself, because you're not the only one that goes through these days. After all, everybody go through days where everybody go through days where they don't want to do it, or it's too hard, or you're tired. But at the end of the day, you just got to do it, because if you want to be an athlete, this is what it takes.
You don't just tell them, like, look, I got to live with this dude. Like, you get to leave at 12 o'clock. I got to go home with the dude. I got to eat dinner with this dude. I got to drive to practice, leave practice. Like, you don't tell them that. You just tell them that. So you tell them what you tell them. You don't tell them what I thought you tell them. Like, look, I got to live with this dude.
Sometimes
you tell them that. Like, look, man, at least you ain't got to go home with this dude after today. I thought that's what you were saying. I thought that's what you was telling them. But I'm glad to know that that's not what you're telling them. That's good. All right, so let's see. If you could give advice to younger kids who want to be great athletes like you, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, like, keep putting in the work. Because, again, I ain't started as a fast athlete. I've started as I was slow. I wouldn't say I was slow, but my footwork wasn't the best. Like, back in, I'd say, like, 2019 is where I got it all started in this football stuff. And when I first started, I could tell I wasn't that good. And just keep working consistently, just knowing that it'll get better is just one thing I live by.
Okay. And you know, I'll say this about you. When you were little, you said you wanted to play soccer. And I was like, cool, you play soccer. But then you took a trip to Ohio when you was about 3-4 years old, and you came back like, I'm a football player. But you didn't end up playing for the next couple of years. And I will say you have improved year to year. Last year, you know, my biggest thing is I know you can run the ball. I know you can do those things. But to watch you improve on defense, then to watch you get even better this year on defense, you know, we have to start solidifying what positions you're going to play, the ability to play multiple positions. I think you're doing a good job, man, and I'm proud of you. If you could play any sport in the Olympics, which one would you choose and why?
In the Olympics right now, I'll probably do track, just because of the atmosphere of it.
Okay, yeah, the atmosphere is off the chain, yeah. And let's talk a little bit to your track season. You had by your second or third meet, you were the fastest kid in the state of Michigan in your grade. What was it about track in the beginning stages before you got injured? What was the thing about track that was so fun to you?
It was really just everybody telling me, like, Ayden, you're really fast. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it out. And first meet came out against Pinewood, and I really I was still injured at the time, but the injury, I had a brace on. It wasn't really bothering me. And I ran, and I just, like, at the end of the race, I was like, yeah, I see what they're talking about now.
Yeah.
Looked at my times, and I was like, I see what
You and Caleb had an epic match. That was a great race.
Yeah.
I wish that, and this is just me wishing, I wish that you would have been healthy, because I think what you guys would have done, and Caleb ran a great race, and he actually ran by himself. He ran 11, I think he ran 11.8.
11.9.
11.9. In the Battle of the Woods, and I'm just thinking, like, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm looking forward to next year, and like you said, you'll be ready for next year because you understand what you can't compromise just to be a part of the team. All right, so let's see. What are some of your goals you're working for this next football season in basketball? Well, let's just start with football. What are some of your goals?
One of my goals are get more picks. I think my main goal is to get more picks, more pick sixes in general. But yeah, because I get more touchdowns, especially with this leg. I think it's going to be a challenge for me, but I think I can do it.
Okay. How important is it, Ayden, is it to become a three-way player? Because you had an Instagram. I posted something to you on Instagram, just thinking that I was just posting a little 30-second clip. You running down on kickoff. You made a great play. That post that I made had 25,000 likes. It had over 1,000 shares. And it wasn't a touchdown. It wasn't a kickoff return, punt return. It was just a dog hustle play. How important is it for kids to understand that to be a real football player, and I don't want to say it like that, but that's just how your dad talks, and that's just how I feel. How important is it to be a three-way football player? Special teams, offense, and defense.
It's very important because when it comes to college, like you need options. Like sometimes you might not be big enough for a position, so you gotta have options for a position. So say you wanted to play wide receiver, you may be too short, too skinny, so you might have to go on defense and play safety or something.
Right. You're right. That's what happened to your dad. I was a great quarterback, but I was 5'10", 150 pounds. I had to go play DB. But because I was a all-state defensive back and also a quarterback, but I love special teams. I was a punt returner, kick returner, and when I got to Michigan State at the small stature that I was, I still was able to start as a freshman on special teams. You get what I'm saying? So you're right about that, son. You're right. So let's see. If you could have any superpower on the field or court, what would it be?
Definitely super speed.
Super speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or actually super speed or flying.
You want to fly? Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay. All right. What's a fun fact about you that most people don't know?
I'm actually very chill. I'm actually very people think like an athlete like me. I don't like to party a lot. I really just choke it down at the end of the night. Sit in my room, play my game, listen to music, and yeah.
So people think because your dad is always on 10 that you're going to be on 10 too, and it's completely different. Huh?
Yeah.
I get that. All right. If you could have dinner with any athlete, past or present, who would it be? What would you ask them?
I would say probably Bo Jackson.
Man, now that's a good one right there. Now that's one of my childhood heroes, Bo Jackson.
I would ask him, how do you achieve the things you do?
Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I got any more good questions on here. All right. Let's go. Let's go to this. Let's call this reflection and dreams. When you think about your future, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
In 5 years, I see myself playing football at a high level.
At a high level?
Yeah.
Okay. How about 10 years?
10 years, what's that? 20-something. I see me, since that's 10, I see me playing football at a high level still.
Yeah. Buying your dad a couple houses, you know what I mean? Going golfing with your dad, going fishing with your dad. I get it. I like how you put me in that. I like that, son. I like that. What's the most important thing you want to remember about being an athlete and a person?
Being an athlete, it has a lot to do with being a person. One thing I want to remember is that through hardships and through whatever you're going through, you can always trust God to get you through it.
No doubt, buddy. If you could create your perfect sports day, what would it look like?
Perfect sports day, like perfect sports game?
Sports day.
I would say my football team playing on Ford Field.
Okay.
With the stadium packed out.
Oh, okay. So So basically, you're saying in 3-4 years, where we gonna be at the state championship? What you saying? Okay, I like that. That is a perfect sports day. I feel like I could be a part of that too. All right. So one thing I didn't touch on is your academics. You know what I mean? Like a 4.0 GPA student. I talked to your teacher or your homeroom teacher, I forget what it was, and he said that one thing about you is that he felt like if you really wanted to be, he said that at that point you were at the top of your class. He said it was like two other girls that he would say that were in that level, like on that level with you, but they were older than you. They were actually in 8th grade. What is it about your academics and how you've been so consistent academically? How do you approach your academics?
I approach it with the mindset of a lot of people tell me like focus on academics because someday it could be the thing that you could go to college for, you could get paid for. So I just really focus on being consistent with that, and yeah.
Yeah, you do a great job in the classroom, and I'm proud of you, dude. You know what I mean? You're going into your 8th grade year. I know it gets hard dealing with your dad because I see, it's almost like I see the future. And it's not that I see the future, it's just that I lived in the past. And you're an athlete, and almost every athlete that's played at a high level can always understand what's to come, especially when you're 13.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I challenge from you is to not be complacent, and whatever you did last year, do more than that last year. Do more than that this year. You get what I'm saying? You're only good as your last game, and never get to a point where you feel like you got it all figured out. You get what I'm saying? When it comes to your sports and being an athlete, take every sport. Like there's football, we've been working football. Once football season starts, we get on the court. Once basketball is in full effect, we start working on your track stars. We start working on those things. Just continue to do it while it's small, because when it becomes big time, you'll be ready for it. You get what I'm saying? So this is a great interview. I appreciate you coming on to my podcast. I feel like you're going to blow it up a little bit for me. But you're very well spoken, like Papa would say. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do this year in 8th grade. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, buddy.